What happens when you stop needing anyone? After 50? No approval, no attention, no validation. Just you. Most people spend their lives needing others. They need support. They need validation. They need connection just to feel like they exist. But some men reach a point where they stop needing anyone. And when that happens, everything changes. You transition from playing defense to playing offense. You become a sovereign nation. But this transformation is a double-edged sword. It is the ultimate source of masculine power, and yet it carries a silent, heavy toll. Today, we are going to explore the psychology of extreme independence. We will break down the 8 stages of what happens when a man over 50 unplugs from the matrix of human validation, from the addiction to peace, to the hidden dangers of total isolation. Welcome to the sanctuary. Let's explore the view from the summit. Stage number 1. You find real peace. When you stop needing people, you stop performing for them. For decades, your nervous system was a slave to the moods of others. If your wife was angry, you were anxious. If your boss was stressed, you were panicked. Your peace was conditional. When you cut the cord of neediness, your environment stabilizes. No expectations, no emotional chaos, no dependence, just calm. You curate a quiet life that you fully control. If you want to eat at 3 p.m., you eat. If you want to sit in silence for 4 hours, you sit. You discover that peace is not just the absence of conflict. It is a tangible, highly addictive state of being. You realize that a quiet morning with strong coffee and 0 arguments is infinitely superior to the anxiety of trying to make someone else happy. Your baseline becomes tranquility. Stage number 2. Your standards become high. The vetting process. When you are afraid of being alone, you compromise. You tolerate bad behavior, financial irresponsibility, or disrespect just to keep a warm body in the room. When you stop needing company, that fear vanishes. And when the fear of loneliness dies, your standards skyrocket. You are no longer looking, you are evaluating. Your new baseline for a relationship or a friendship is your own perfect peace. People must add value, or they don't enter your life. Simple. You audit potential connections with ruthless efficiency. Does this person bring me more joy than sitting alone in my garden? Most people cannot clear that bar because most people bring noise, demands, and baggage. You would rather remain the king of an empty castle than share your throne with someone who tracks mud onto the carpet. Stage number 3. You become hard to manipulate. The iron vault. How do people manipulate you? Through your desires. They threaten to take away sex, approval, money, or companionship. If you need those things from them, they hold the leash. When you don't need anyone, no one can control you. If a woman gives you the silent treatment to punish you, you don't chase her. You enjoy the silence. If a friend tries to guilt trip you into a favor, you calmly say, no. No one can pressure you. You move entirely on your own terms. You become immune to flattery because you know your own worth. You become immune to shaming because you don't respect the opinion of the mob. This absolute sovereignty makes you incredibly dangerous to toxic people and incredibly attractive to high-value people. You are unshakable. Stage number 4. You become emotionally strong. When you live an independent life, you lose the luxury and the burden of outsourcing your emotional regulation. If you get sick, you care for yourself. If you are sad, you process the grief internally. If you are angry, you cannot vent to a partner to calm you down. You learn to handle everything alone. Pain, stress, financial decisions, and that builds real strength. You become your own therapist, your own counselor, your own best friend. When a crisis hits, you don't look around for someone to save you. You know you are the only one coming. This builds an unshakable confidence. You realize, I have survived my darkest nights alone. There is nothing the world can throw at me that I cannot handle. That level of emotional independence makes a man incredibly powerful. Stage number 5. You become different from most people. The outlier. As you solidify this mindset, you will notice a growing chasm between you and the rest of society. Most people depend on others for their identity. They need a spouse to tell them they are loved. They need a boss to tell them they are smart. But you don't. You think differently. You live differently. While your peers are complaining about their marriages or desperately swiping on dating apps, you are restoring a vintage car, reading philosophy, or simply enjoying the sunset. Your priorities are alien to them, and that creates distance. You will find that you can no longer relate to the trivial drama of the average person. You lose patience for small talk. You lose patience for people who complain but refuse to change. You become a lone wolf, not out of malice, but out of an evolution in consciousness. Stage number 6. Connection becomes optional. The a la carte life. Men assume that if they stop needing people, they are doomed to celibacy and total isolation. This is binary, black and white thinking. You do not need a committed traditional relationship to enjoy the company of women or friends. You don't chase relationships. You don't need company. You choose if it adds value. You can have friends. You can date. You can have romance. But you maintain separate sanctuaries. You meet for a beautiful dinner. You share a bottle of wine. You enjoy the best parts of human connection. And then, you go back to your own separate house. You get the connection, but you skip the mundane friction. You don't have to argue about who cleans the bathroom or what temperature the house should be. You engage with the world entirely on your own terms. You are a tourist in the land of relationships, but your permanent residence is solitude. But now, we must address the shadow. Stage number 7, the hidden cost. Here's what no one tells you. When you stop needing anyone, you may also stop connecting. Socializing is a muscle. Empathy is a muscle. Compromise is a muscle. When you live entirely on your own terms for years, those muscles atrophy. You become too blunt. You lose your patience for the dance of human interaction. You stop reaching out because you are perfectly fine alone. People feel your distance. They sense that you do not need them. And because human beings want to be needed, they stop trying. And slowly, your world becomes smaller. You have built a magnificent castle, but you have lost the key to the gate. Your absolute intolerance for nonsense makes you a highly effective truth-teller, but a terrible partner for anyone who expects a normal give and take. You have traded warmth for invincibility, which leads us to stage number 8. You risk becoming too isolated. Independence is power. It is the ultimate goal of the masculine journey. But too much independence becomes isolation. And isolation has its own consequences. We are biological creatures. Complete lack of touch, complete lack of shared laughter, complete lack of being witnessed by another soul. It hardens the spirit. The danger of not needing anyone is that you forget how to want anyone. So what happens when you stop needing anyone after 50? You gain control. You gain strength. You gain unparalleled peace. You become the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. But you must be careful not to lose connection in the process. Be the king of your castle, but remember to lower the drawbridge for the few who are worthy of entering. If you have embraced the silence, hit the like button. Subscribe for more truths from the mountaintop. Case closed.